Setting intentions and living intentionally goes hand in hand with manifestation. But what manifestation is not is desperation, is not the idea as though you're just going to create something and it's just going to jump into your lap. That is what it is not. So let's talk about that today. Welcome to episode 86 of the Positivity Experience, Setting Intentions and Manifestation. Check it out. Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode 86 of the Positivity Experience. It's your girl, Lori, and I am on a roll. I don't know if you remember a few episodes ago, I said my goal is to be 4 podcasts ahead because I have, hopefully when you're listening to this podcast, hopefully I'm on vacation. I'm hoping that that's the plan here, but I am on episode 2 and my goal is before I leave, actually this Friday, Saturday, I plan on trying to have 4 ahead. It's important to me. So in case, like I said, I want to take a break or have vacation, I don't feel obligated to do it and I have space. So this is the mission. So if you have joined the Patreon and I am not shouting you out this week, it's because I technically haven't seen it yet, but it will happen. So my goal is to be 4 ahead and that will be succeeded right before I go on vacation. So big, huge shout out. And that was part of my intentions. And what better way to follow up last week's episode of non-attachment, with the whole intention and manifestation, because manifestation is not something that you do out of desperation or out of selfishness or, whatever you consider selfishness, like within, it's just not any of those things. And then living intentionally. So you have to live intentionally and you have to practice forgiveness and all of these other things if in fact you want to manifest. What you will never do, okay, you don't get to be salty, not, kind of living in a victim mentality, being salty, being judgy, and then in the same token going, peace, love, and happiness, I'm ready to manifest. Never going to happen that way. It just isn't. Like, you can't trick energy. Okay, so I don't care how slick you think you are. I don't care, like the biggest narcissist on the planet could never trick the universe. You just can't. Like, it's way smarter than you'll ever be. And because it doesn't go by a feeling state. So in other words, the universe doesn't care if you're like, oh my God, that brings me so much pain. I don't want that. The universe is not somewhere going, they don't want this. We're not going to give it to them anymore. That is not at all how that works. What the universe hears is like, wow, you're really focused here. You really believe about this. So even though you're trying to avoid it, you don't realize that you're sending that out into the universe, which is why very much people don't understand that with manifestation, you also don't just set it and pretend like I'm setting this out into the universe. No, you got to do your part too. Like that's a huge part of manifestation. And just because you want something doesn't mean that the universe is going to give it to you in the way and in the time in which you want it. The universe doesn't care about your timing. There's no time for that. So first, let's go with the first step, and that's intention. In living with intention. And what does that even mean? Okay, so essentially, it's allowing yourself to live according to how you want to live. Whatever your value is, whatever your goal is, religious, non-religious, it doesn't matter. But whatever it is whatever your intentions, I didn't say what you want everybody else's intentions. This is solely yours. You have to be able to live in a space that you're following what it is that's important for you. And to do that, I start my mantra in the morning. Feel free to steal it. Okay. But my mantra in the morning every single day, every day, 365 days a year is, I am capable of handling anything that the day sends my way, and I only ever have today. Now, you can make it anything you want. So this already allows me to do that. Now, as of this, well, not this week, last week for you? I don't know, because I'm recording this not in real time. So I started this Monday, Wednesday, Friday working out thing versus trying to do it Monday through Friday because I just found it was a little overwhelming for me. I was talking myself out of things. And if I want to add a day, I can. So my intentions that I set is I'm making a commitment to me. I am intentionally setting this goal and I will take the steps I need to do to make that successful. So today I'm recording this on a Tuesday. And so tomorrow's Wednesday. So I didn't do anything today, like working out wise. So on the treadmill, I have my workout bra, my shorts, my top, and some socks. So doesn't matter what I decide to do, it's already there. Okay. Boom, already done. So I have it. So your intentions, you don't just set an intention and be like, this is my intentions with no plan. Go back to episode 37, micro goals. But I think I might even do one next week on like not redoing micro goals, just bringing it back up to the top. So understanding that you got to do the baby steps. You got to check in with yourself all the time, right? You don't just set an intention and you're like, okay, well, that's the intention for the rest of my life. That's not true. It's going to change frequently. Frequently. Think about simplification. Okay. Think about minimalism, right? If you ever watch The Minimalists, or in your brain, you want to be more organized. Okay. That is simplifying your life. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you just go, my intention is to simplify. Okay. So, but how do you plan on doing that? Well, that's what I want. Okay. Well, that's great. But to say, I want to simplify my house, right? Like realistically, think about that. I'm going to declutter my whole house. Oh my God, what? Okay, now that's great. And that could be your intention. My intention is to declutter my home. That's your end goal, right? So you always start with end goal in mind, because it's just a benchmarker. It's not a success tool. It's just a benchmarker. And then you work backwards. Now, you don't just go through and simplify. What is the plan? What are your intentions when you buy new things? So now let's pretend over this last year, you've simplified your whole house. You've decluttered it. You've done all that stuff. Well, just because you do that doesn't change how you go shopping or how you order on Amazon. It just doesn't change it. Okay, so now you've just cleared it and now you're bringing more stuff in. But now those things you might not even want, you're just using to fill a void. So that's not living intentionally. So what I want you to do is think of this. Think of living intentionally and mindful, because intention and mindful is basically kind of the same thing. But think about the intention of like this. If you're going to go eat a sandwich, I don't care if it has bacon, ranch, sour cream, and all of these heavy fats on it. I don't care what you put on it. See, the first problem is you're worried too much about what this is going to look like down the road. That's not intentions. Okay, yeah, you might say, I want to intentionally eat clean. Okay, well, that is intention. But now what's your plan? See, you're not living intentionally without a plan. Remember that. That's just a dream. That's just a wish, right? So when you're living with intention, you say, so let's say you say something like, I'm going to declutter the house, and every time, and even while I'm decluttering, every time I go shopping, I'm going to really ask myself, do I really need this, or do I really want this? Like I get my Stitch Fix like every other month, right? I don't always keep everything. Sometimes I do. I'm like, okay, do I really like it? Do I have a space to wear it? Not, do I want a space to wear it? Not, am I going to wear these fancy clothes? Where am I going to wear them to? The grocery store? So you have to be intentional with what you put in your mouth. With the sandwich, with this big over sandwich that most people would be like, oh my God, you can have intentions to eat half of it, but enjoy every bit of it. Taste the grease in it. Taste this, taste that. You can do that. Don't do it every day. It's probably not the best for your health, but don't just cut things out. So intentional living is to do so with mindfulness. So think about this. What is the opposite of that? Is autopilot. You get up, you make the donuts, you get up, you make the donuts, you come home. You get up, you make the donuts, come home. So it's basically when you're doing the same thing, we've all done this driving, you pull into your driveway or to your destination and you think, I don't remember this at all. That's not intentions. Mindfulness. That's not mindfulness. You're just going on autopilot. So it's to stay in the present space as much as possible. I do that about 85% of the time. The other 15% is sometimes good to just be in the moment. Meditation is phenomenal for that. Because the art of meditation is to see the thought, feel the thought, keep looking at it, sit with it, don't judge it, don't look at the outcome, don't attach emotion to it. Eventually it goes away. That thought goes away. I'm not saying the situation goes away. I said the thought goes away. That's the beautiful thing about meditation and mindfulness, right? It's not to judge what you're feeling or judge what you're thinking. It's to feel it and sit at it and don't try to fix it. Just let it be what it is. After a while, it starts to lose that power. So you want to practice your intentions by going back through and checking in with yourself. What's working for you on this journey? Because when you first started, you're going to have all kinds of intentions. Now you have to have a plan for it. But for the most part, and remember, it has to be purposeful. Like you don't just do it by accident. You have to purposefully buy something. That's why the routine of your life will come into play. So like, you know how I said in the morning, right, is when I set my intention, when I do my journaling, like I'm kind of a creature of habit that way. However, every day it's like the first time I've ever done it because I'm in the moment in that time. So that's why the journaling, going for a walk, working out, doing your mantra, it shouldn't become repetitive in feeling. I say that same mantra forever, for years, and will for years. I'll add something in here and take something away. But every morning I say it, it's like I never said it before. I'm doing it for the first time. I can feel it. I'm immersing my soul into it. Right? I know that Annie Dillard had this quote, and she said, how you spend your days are how you spend your life. Right? So think about that. If you're not living in a structured day, and I'm not asking you to go check dot and check everything. I'm going to talk to you about color blocking and structure in some point in the upcoming episodes, but because it's hugely, hugely important. But you need to start your intentions every single day. So figure out a mantra. You can take it from me. You can do whatever you want to do. But you need to create the mantra. You have to allow yourself to create a routine that when you are operating, if you're operating on autopilot, so to speak, like I do the same thing pretty much every morning. If I just go through the motions, it's such muscle memory for me now. I wouldn't get anything out of it. I would just be checking a box. Your life shouldn't be checking a box. Okay. Even if you've worked at the same place for 30 years, you drive your car there like it's first time going there. Notice a new car, notice the new restaurant, walk through the door, say hello a different way, drive home an opposite way. Brush your teeth with your left hand if you're right-handed and the other way around, right? So because you become so repetitive, when you brush your teeth, you can brush your teeth and be thinking about 100 things, but if you try it with your other hand, you're a little bit more mindful of what's going on because you're not on autopilot anymore. That's huge when it comes to shopping. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think we've all done that. At least most people that I know have. You're in a bad mood. You're not feeling all that great. And you're kind of trying to procrastinate. You go online or you go to the mall or you sometimes you just don't really need it. Okay, so you want to make sure that the clutter, because clutter can prevent a lot of manifestation as well. And that's why decluttering is like a huge thing. And to declutter means you're not attached. Go back and listen to last week's episode. You're not attached to things. I don't care if this was like I said, 1 or 2 things are great. You don't have to throw everything out, but you don't need 743 things from your grandfather. Right? And so there's a way of decluttering, and that's those baby steps. It could take you a whole year. You want to stress and be specific about what your goals are, but be willing to not over plan it, but plan it. So what I mean by that is don't attach, like non-attachment here, don't attach an expectation to this outcome, especially in manifestation or setting your intentions. Because the moment you do that, you're now trying to be in control. So I'm going to use this because I just used this with someone who is really pretty kind of high up in a certain church. And so we were talking and they said, you've been very helpful in the aspect of, now I know if I say to myself, let go and let God, I still try to control it, which means, and I said to him, it means that you think you're better than God. If that's what you believe in, if you believe in God and you're trying to control it, you think you're better than God. You're literally saying, well, I don't like the unknown. Well, God doesn't care. Universe doesn't care. You're going to sit there and try to keep doing that. You don't get to say you believe in the universe or you believe in God when things are going your way or the way you choose for them to be. But when things come in a different path, or you're expected to just accept whatever the unknown is, that's where you struggle. That's your ego. That's nothing more than ego. So when you start dropping your ego and you live with intentions and you live mindfully and you live in the present space, now we're talking. Now we're opening up some manifestation. Now we're good. But you have to define what your priorities are. What do you want out of life? Not what do you want everybody else to give you? What do you want? What do you want out of life? Not what do the kids want? Not what does your mom want? Not what does your spouse want? I said, what do you want? This forces you to get clear. You can't manifest peace, happiness, and joy when you don't even know what that looks like for you. Stop trying to manifest magic to make you feel better. because that's not manifestation, that's desperation. Okay. And that's another thing. Make sure that you're not wasting your time. Make sure you're not wasting your time and you're just burning it out on whatever. Listen, I dedicate, you already know, I've said this to you, I don't spend more than an hour on socials. Now, doing all this research and stuff and recording, that can take hours or days. But I'm not on there just wasting time. It's important to have your outlets, but don't tell me you don't have time, but you just TikToked for an hour and then you TikTok an hour earlier. You know what I mean? Or, you got caught up in some show and you didn't get things accomplished. Well, go get them accomplished. Give yourself a break, go watch something and go back to what you were doing. So you have to remember that when you say you don't have time, you got time. Oh, you got time. You just got to find it. You got to allow yourself to be honest with yourself. So you got to check in with yourself. Okay. And that's where your mindset shift comes. Okay. Things are not always going to go your way. They are not. Not they might. They are not. They are not going to go your way. They are not even going to be good half the time. Maybe less than half the time. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to say it is what it is, and you're going to have to look at where the joy of whatever that lesson is. You don't have to know it right off the top, but your positive mindset can be shifted. Even though you may be hardwired or your trauma may be in somewhat has aligned into your body DNA in some way, you don't get to utilize that and say you can't think positive. You're choosing not to. Okay. You living in prep mode. Oh my gosh, if it's bad, I want to be prepared. That is not living. That's not living. You're not living a life at all. And that's why you want to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do some yoga. I'm going to you have to have your healthy routine because it leads into your mental health. And you have to be honest with yourself too. What's working for you? What's not working for you? Where are you dropping the ball for yourself? Where are you not showing up for you? Not where are people not showing up for you? Not where are you not showing up for other people? This is all about you. So where are you showing up for yourself and where are you neglecting yourself? Where are you aligning with what your goals are? And where are you allowing yourself to be pulled off course? And again, some things are going to throw a monkey wrench into it. How are you going to handle that? Things aren't always going to go your way as planned because you're dealing with other human beings who have their own free will. You don't get to change that. You don't get to switch that up for them. And being organized is always good. But don't do so with thinking that that's going to fix everything. None of this is an instant fix. This is a way of life. Stay off social media for long periods of time. Be careful of what you are looking at. Just because you see something doesn't always mean it's what you're seeing. It could be photoshopped if you're worried about body image. It could be, hey, me and the family have matching pajamas on, but we really hate each other. But to the naked eye, we look like we all get along, and you're upset because your husband or wife or partner just left you, and you're looking and you're comparing your life with this person's life of the vision that you think you see, but you don't know what's going on behind the camera. So don't follow things that do not fill your soul and better you for your goals. Don't follow it. That you don't leave a negative comment on somebody's stuff. Why do you feel like you're entitled to do that? You know what you can do if you don't like it? Block them, scroll past it, disconnect from it. There's so many things that you can do. But you engaging in some negative dialogue only fuels more negative to you when it comes to mindfulness and meditation and manifestation. Your gratitude journal is always the key. And stop comparing yourself. That's what social media will do. It will start to, first of all, let me take that back. Social media is not the devil. Social media, there's nothing wrong with social media. It's how much people are using it and what you're using it for. But itself, it is what it is. It's not bad nor good. It just is. Right? So let's talk a little bit. So now we know about intentions. Setting intentions, following your intentions, not worrying about other people's intentions, checking in with yourself, making sure that you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Pretty frequently, you're asking yourself, hey, does this work? Does this not work? Where can I make the changes? We're not blaming anybody else. What do I need to do to make these changes? Now, when it comes to manifestation, yes, there's a 369 journal. There's the 369 method. There's a couple things of that, but this isn't just about writing things down, doing vision boards. Do 743 vision boards all you want, but it's not to get things. You don't get to go, I'm going to attract the perfect mate. First of all, that's not even free will. Essentially, if you were putting a spell on someone to fall in love with you, oh my God, you're going to get that back 10 times fold, and not in a good way. Right? So you're not going to manifest a person. You're going to manifest the feeling of how you feel if you feel secure in a relationship, how you feel. Just, hey, there's a partner with a big question mark on its face. Okay. But you're not going to worry about what that is or who that is. Let's not try to manifest one person. You could have this like your eyes set on somebody. Listen, stop it. Stop trying to force things. That's not how manifestation works. And again, if you're carrying ill will, if you're not releasing the past, if you're trying to control things, stop saying you're going to manifest something positive. You will not. So if you ever go, oh my God, I keep trying, but I keep running into the wall. Yeah, you do. Because the universe does not care what it is that you want or you don't want. You have to be very clear about what you want, but it can't be specific where it's like, I need Bobby in my life. Like, no, it's not about a person or a job or a certain thing. It's about a feeling state as though you already have it. See, there's a version of you, me, and everybody else out there who's listening to this that literally is in the universe somewhere that has exactly what it is that you seek. Like you already have it. You just have to align into that accordingly and understand that. Let's say you're like, okay, I want to be content. First of all, that's never going to be served. You served your way from the universe ever, because you have to define what that looks like. And it has to start with self first. The moment you start saying, well, I'm content with my partner, hard pass. You got to be content with self. But you have to live as though you already have it. Right? I know, and I've talked to you about it before, like the, law of attraction and, all of those beautiful movies and books, they're great. They just go into they just scratch the surface. I am a mindful expert, and expert means I have over 10,000 plus hours in something. That's for anybody who's an expert in anything, excuse me. And so it is something that I teach, but people don't realize that you don't manifest like abundance in the aspect that all of a sudden you're not working anymore and you're super duper happy. I think you need to skew that down just a smidge, because you got to start really teeny tiny, not so tall, right? So you have to remember it's a feeling state, and it's not a desperate feeling state. You don't manifest love because you feel like you don't have it. That's right. You don't have it because you're not giving it to yourself. Here's the other thing. Just because you align with it and you set it in motion and you align that feeling state doesn't mean that it's just going to drop in your lap. You got to create a plan and you have to follow it. You better stick to it, and you better stick to it with consistency. The universe is not going to reward you for being half-ass. Nothing is. And that's why you want radical acceptance. You want radical kindness. You want radical love of self. All of this is of self. Ask yourself, by checking in intentionally again, what limiting beliefs are you facing? We've talked about limiting beliefs before. Stop pigeonholing yourself because everybody in the family thinks some way. You don't have to conform to how the world wants you to be. You just don't have to. But see, you have to understand too, you want these big giant signs from the universe. You want these big, and by the way, you can never manifest just by putting it out into the universe. You better write it down. You better feel it. You better live with that feeling. And remember, the universe doesn't have time. So you're not just going to manifest for a day or two and go, okay, I want, I know what this feels like. Stop with the need thing. Stop trying to manifest out of desperation. Stop trying to manifest out of control. Because neither one of those things are going to help you. Yes, a vision board is very helpful, right? Within reason. Okay, I don't need you putting the lottery up there of like $48 billion. Like, we're not doing that. But I'm going to tell you right now, the absolute positive thing for you to do is start those 5 journals. Your positive affirmations. This is what needs to happen for you. And that's the whole thing. If you want to manifest, you have to be willing to release the things that no longer serve you. Why do you think I'm always trying to really drill that into your head? When I'm trying to drill that into your head, it's extremely helpful for you to understand that releasing things that no longer serve you and the past, thinking and holding on to the past will never give you the tools that you need for manifestation for the current time or into the future. It just won't, because you're holding on to something in the past. Now, it's good to say things like, I welcome and receive any gifts and things that the universe has to offer. Doesn't matter the size. I am here to receive it. You know what I mean? And you just say, I deserve to have my own self-love. I trust in God, or I trust in the universe, or I trust in whomever else that it is that you trust in. But if you're going to trust in it, that means you got to release it. It's the same thing I told that person that I was talking to, who's pretty high up in a certain kind of a church, and, said, wow, you really called me out. That's right. You don't get to say you believe in God and then go, I can't let go of something. Okay, so you're better than God. That's what you're saying? Or you're better in whatever it is that you believe in? Check yourself. Because if you can't release it and let it go, and then you don't get to say you believe in something, because if you believe in something and you trust in something, you'll be able to release it. And that's what you got to check yourself on. You have to check yourself in the space of understanding that when and only then can you sit in the place of abundance. You have to be able to sit in a space of abundance. And in order to sit in a space of abundance, you have to allow yourself to receive whatever the universe is going to give you that aligns with you, even if you haven't planned out what it is. So I'm asking you to essentially do what I tell you in every possible thing that I ever do and promote. Okay? And that is go embrace the unknown. Things will be what they are, not how you want them to be. To live intentionally, you can control that. Now that you can. This is my intentions. This is what I'm going to do within reason. Make it reasonable. Don't say I'm going to go work out 7 days a week. I think that's not a good plan. Set your intentions on what you believe in and how you want to do it. This is imperative and important for you. So then and only then, when you're manifesting, you're putting it into the universe. You feel as though you already have it, but not in a desperation space. It's like, yeah, I already got it. And you're not sweating it. You don't worry about when it's coming because you already have it. It's a feeling state. And the best way to do that, meditation, journaling, mindfulness, living with intention, releasing what no longer serves you, letting go of grudges. Do you see what I'm saying? So when I tell you on multiple different platforms that your past doesn't serve you, you can't hold on to that and hold on to the hurt and hold on to the pain and hold on to the victim mentality. And then in the same breath, say you want to receive contentment and abundance. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, it just doesn't. I didn't make the rules, but that's just how it is. So I want you to check yourself from a spiritual perspective. Okay? I don't care. You can believe in God. You can believe in whomever. You can believe in whatever. I'm asking you to check yourself spiritually and say, do you trust that? Don't say yes without telling me that you're going to release things. You're really going to work on it. You're going to make that commitment to yourself. Don't say, yeah, I definitely believe in it. But, I just don't understand. Why can't I let this go? Okay, you're doing that control thing again. So you want to check yourself because your spirituality may not be as strong and steady as you want it to be. Because you're picking and choosing when it is that you want to trust the source. So whatever source it is that you believe in, you got to take the good, the bad, and the uncertain. And do so without worrying about the questions and the whys and the hows. When you do that, then we can circle back here and I'll give you some great exercises. And we're going to do an intentional exercise and stuff over on the Patreon. So with that being said, set your intentions. Right? Tomorrow, set your intentions. Set your intentions now. Go back and figure out what it is that you really want. Not what does your partner want? Not what does all of these other people want? What do you want? What do you want? And how do you plan on getting it? Now, that's one thing. Secondary part. What are you holding on to? How's that benefiting you? Block when necessary, block like a profession. Be able to let go of things without the apology. Stop waiting and holding on to the past and then telling me or telling yourself that you want it to be better, that you want it to be content. Stop saying that you believe in the source, whatever source it is that you believe in, but then yet in the same token, you still want to control it. It's a great introspective space to be. But when you get there and you live intentionally, you live with non-attachment, you live with peace, love, and gratitude, and you live in the present space, oh boy, it's the best place you'll ever be.